Okay, here we are. Hey, Judy.
Lisa, how are you this evening?
I am doing fine. We are actually recording this podcast in the evening. Usually
I
we do
know.
this early in the day. So if you're seeing us and we look a little tired, a little haggard, that's why we have whole day underneath our belts. And
And you've got on your purple glasses instead of your green glasses, but they look
yes, I
very
do.
nice.
I thought the purple would go better with my blue ensemble, and you're doing blue too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, so we kind of match.
we, yeah, we kind of match. I don't
Yeah.
usually wear blue, so it's kind of an interesting concept for me. But anyway, so today we are talking about anticipation. And when I say that
Ooh,
word, I have the song going on my brain. What is that from?
anticipation.
Anticipation, it's making me wait. It's Heinz ketchup, right?
Probably, but it's also like a song by some pop group or something.
Famous group in the 70s,
Anticipation.
maybe.
Yeah, probably. I don't
Probably.
know. My sister told me I can't sing on these podcasts, so I'm going to behave.
It's against the rules, against the law, right?
Against the law. What can I
Yeah.
tell you? No
So
appreciation for my lovely singing voice.
our lovely singing voices.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So we the reason I wanted to talk about this one is I realized that I use and I love anticipation. And I
Uh-huh.
can't think of any podcast that I've ever heard of where people talked about it. And I thought it's really powerful in my life. We should talk about this.
Well, let's say goodbye to that shit. Let's make it a first, huh?
Let's make it happen. So what I and so then before this podcast, I sat down and I thought, what are the oh, if you do a Google search, yeah, there's lots out there about anticipation that I never who'd have thunk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I thought, what are the ones that really appeal to me? I don't need anybody else's list for myself. And I
Right.
sat down and I was able to quickly and easily come up with three different ways that anticipation really benefits my soul, to be honest with
Okay.
you. Okay.
Let's hear them.
The first one is anticipation is sometimes it's like a brain mantra for me. Okay. And what I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that is I like am going to bed at night
Okay.
and I will think about something that I am anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it is approaching spring. And
Ah.
people talk about spring fever all the time. And
Right.
when I get that feeling of spring fever, I love going to bed and I lay in my bed and I imagine playing in my gardens. And I imagine, going to the greenhouse and purchasing flowers. And this past weekend, Craig and I started some seeds for some tomatoes and some peppers and some coleus that I always grow. I mean, it's like all of those things that I enjoy doing. Just I lay in bed and I just kind of I anticipate them, and it feels so good going to sleep
You
with
enjoy the
anticipation.
preparation and the looking forward to those little seedlings becoming big seedlings and wonderful things you're gonna do with them and how gorgeous your gardens are gonna look, right?
Yes, it's
Am I
kind of like
close?
my adult way of when I was a kid, anticipating Christmas morning, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. I do know.
I think we can all relate with as kids, looking forward to our birthday or some kind of celebratory event where we're getting presents, of course. And now as a grown up, I just really look forward to, like I said, right now, gardening. And when I do that, it's so fascinating because I totally discount the negative. I totally don't even give a rat's hoot about, that's the phrase, right? A rat's hoot?
I don't give a rat's ass, I think.
I don't give a, I don't give a
Maybe
rat's
that's just
ass
mine. I don't know.
about what happened last year. The fact that my tomatoes, all like 40 plants, all croaked from that fungus again that we can't get rid of in our yard.
That
I'm a
bottom rot.
perennial optimist when it comes to my tomatoes. And the last few years, we have just, it's been
Bottom
awful.
rot. You're not getting enough calcium into your tomato plants. And you need to also save all your eggshells and crush them up and put them in the soil.
Well, we've been using some kind of copper fungicide trying to get rid of
Oh,
this fungus. That's what they
okay.
told us at Jung's. And yeah, it's
Oh,
not
I bet they
working.
know more about it than I do.
I even tried putting down the red plastic on top of the soil and just cut out areas for my plants so that the soil wouldn't splash up on the plant. And the red is supposed to be good to grow tomatoes. And I would
Yeah.
only water, put the hose in that hole by the plant so it didn't splash up on the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Still, they've suffered miserably. It croaked. I think we got a total of 3 tomatoes off of all of my plants. It was disgusting.
Well,
But anyway,
I have 3 grow boxes that I could loan you.
they did beautifully for you, absolutely gloriously for you.
They did, and not only did they grow beautiful tomatoes, they grew beautiful cucumbers, and they grew beautiful squash, and
Mhm.
they can even grow beautiful flowers. But you have
And you
to.
give them to me because I can give you some free tomato plants and pepper plants this year.
Well,
You're not going to
no,
grow
I don't.
anything?
I don't want the plants. Just give me some extra tomatoes that you have left over.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I've
getting back
decided. Yeah,
oh, getting back to the
anticipation.
anticipation. Yes. I totally ignore the negative and I just really focus on the positive. I go into every growing season with incredible anticipation and excitement and positive attitude and outlook over what this year's garden is going to both yield for my vegetables and look like for my flowers. It's
That is
crazy.
such an important piece of life. As we were talking earlier, I said it's another word for having hope and
Mm,
picturing how something's going to be in a positive way. And, the more I learn and the older I get, the more I realize how important mindset is. And when
mhm.
you have something to look forward to, something to anticipate, something to hope for, it does something to the juices in your mind that just simply seem to motivate you and make you really want to dig in the soil and it's something to look forward to. I think is something I know for myself. If I let that slip by and I don't think what my next best thing is going to be, I can get myself kind of real crabby and dumpy. But if I really
Mhm.
put out there, what I'm planning's another word for me for anticipating. Um, yeah, I think it's critically important to have things to look forward to. And the
Some,
spring this year has made it so much easier because we've had some teasing warm weather.
yeah,
So,
it's
and
crazy.
you can get out and do a little bit of something. You can't do too much. You can't really plant, but you
I
can
can
clean
start
out your
cleaning up my
beds.
gardens a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
just a
Hmm.
little bit.
Yep, I agree. You can clean out your gardens. You can I've got some um bushes that I need to cut down and things like that. And I noticed there's those sticks out by the curb. I'm wondering, do they start doing that again? I thought that was May or something. So I
It's
think it's a
pretty
little
early for
early.
that. Yes, it is pretty
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I did read in my thinking about today's podcast, somebody said, you hear so much about gratitude journals. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you've heard of two truths and a lie. Well, I was
Uh-huh.
thinking something that would be really beneficial in my journaling to do would be two gratitudes and an anticipation,
Uh-huh. Oh, I
you know?
agree.
These
Yeah.
are
And
two things that are going that I'm really that I'm appreciative of. Two things that, I'm really blessed by or grateful for. And
mm-hmm.
then one thing that I'm just really looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't
Some
have to be
people
flowers.
Some people, when they think about gardening, it's like, oh my God, it's backbreaking. I need to get out there. I need to till the soil. I need to do all this, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of think, don't even bother because those flowers are going to just wilt on the vine because they can't take that kind of exposure. I think it's important, whatever you're anticipating, that it be something that you really enjoy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if they say if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I think it's true. If you're things that you do to enhance your home, if it's things you love doing, like your mom loves arranging flowers in a way that they really complement the environment and likes working with the colors and making sure they all blend. And I just love walking through her gardens. They're so beautiful. And yours are just like, oh my gosh, they're so beyond what I've ever known how to do. And I keep saying, how do you do that? And you keep saying, well, you just do it. And then I'm like, I don't just do it. So I need you to pass on some of that uh, energy and motivation. Okay.
Well, it is something that I enjoy doing. I mean, I can remember laying at my other house and planning the shape of my garden and a walkway, from one to the next. And here, each year the first 9 years, every summer, I built and developed a new garden. And even this spring, Craig and I have been reshaping our vegetable garden. Right now
Really
we have
nice.
square 4x4 boxes that we lay down on the ground.
Hmm.
And that's not real. It's not worked out the way we thought. So we're going to rip those out, grade the whole area, put that fungicide in, like I told you, and we're building it into a different shape. And
Uh-huh.
it's going to be taller boxed gardens. So I mean,
Oh.
so we're just like, "Woo, woo, 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 let me at it."
It's fun that you have him in the same mode, that he's
Yes.
enjoying getting ready and planning. I think that makes it so much better. I think
Hmm.
that kind of explains why I'm giving up on the grow boxes, because Michael thought that was the coolest thing
Yes.
ever. And
Yes.
we'd plant those, and they have these NutriPacks that you put on the top, and like
Uh-huh.
you only put, I want to say, is it 3 or 4 tomato plants per grow box? And in
Yes.
each of those grow boxes, you probably get at least 50 tomatoes.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, they're amazing. I kind of worry sometimes that um, what's the, that they're, what's the term? Radioactive or something because they grow
There's
so good. And I was like, yeah, they're huge, but
oh.
I'm kind of joking. So, um,
Mm.
yeah,
So
so tell me more. You talked earlier about basically 3 reasons for anticipation.
hmm hmm
And the
So the first
first,
one was training your brain to believe, really imagining possible outcomes,
oh my
focusing on the
gosh.
positive. What?
Oh my gosh, we have a visitor and I'm sure she doesn't know that it's hi.
Hey, we're podcasting.
Come on in. We could yeah, mom couldn't do it. It won't be long though. So come in, have a seat, and we'll finish up shortly. Okay?
So the
Okay.
other one is, a motivation really gives me the energy to overcome roadblocks.
Yes.
Those potholes in my experiences that you would
Michelle,
think would stop
can you
me
pick
from
up those
reaching the
2
goal.
animals? I'm sorry. I've got to save the alligator and the little other guy from. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Oh, what would I do without our third sidetrack sister here helping us? Thank you, Shell.
Okay, so did you hear what I said?
I heard that you said that you train the brain to think in a way that contributes to the project that you want to get done, right? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
that was the first one that we just got done talking about.
Okay.
Okay, the next one was
Oh, about
energy,
the roadblocks,
the
the energy
roadblocks.
to overcome roadblocks. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And, it's kind of like the first one, but I also think of it like sports people,
Mm-hmm.
golfers and
Mm-hmm.
basketball players, how they constantly, I mean, I believe even in track and field, people who are elite in different areas of sport
Mm-hmm.
will use meditation in the form of visualization to replay the correct form that they need to get their body into to do their sport well, whether it's
Yeah.
a free throw or a shot in golf or figure skaters. I mean, people in all different sports use that.
Well, I know a little bit about the training for golf, and I know
Uh-huh.
that the golfer is actually told during his training to set himself up and then close his eyes and visualize the ball going into the hole. And you would be amazed how many times it goes just right. It's just interesting. And basketball players do that too. They teach themselves how to shoot with their eyes closed because they can see it going into the basket. They can see it going into the hole in their mind. And that helps to uh, give them the energy to overcome any roadblock, except maybe somebody huge that's going to knock the ball out of his hand. But, they can even learn how to get around that. No, I think
Well,
sports is really
I mean,
important.
even if you're, I mean, I'm thinking of when you're learning something, how valuable that could be. Because when you are practicing a new skill or trying
Mm-hmm.
to get better at a skill, how many times you fall short? And it's
Right.
that visualization that's giving you the ability to keep going.
That's right.
Without that visualization, I think you would give up a lot sooner. And you wouldn't get the same amount of practice in or that
Well,
energy that maybe there's some of that mental, I don't know, going out towards the ball. Maybe it's just not all staying in your head. Don't know.
no, well, and I think they've actually proven that by having those mental thoughts, that mindset of positivity and of making the shot, that actually serves you in guiding whatever woo stuff, makes it hit the hole. Yeah, woo.
So it's a
Um,
little bit of this and a little bit of that, huh?
well, we were talking about this earlier, that there was a book that we read called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And one of the things that really impressed me in that book was every day to keep himself sane while he was in the concentration camp, he played 18 holes of golf in his head. And when he finally was released, and I can't remember all the details, it was a couple of years later, he had actually improved his golf game several strokes, but none of it had been done physically. It was all done in his mind. I bet he
Mm.
really anticipated that first golf game when he got
Oh, I
home,
bet.
don't you think?
Yeah, I don't remember that part of the book. So that is so
Oh, I gotta
fascinating
find
that
it for
I
you
must
because
have
you
totally
read
blocked
it.
that. Yes, I did. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, a couple
yeah.
years ago
Hmm.
as an
Hmm.
adult on my to read list. So now
Yeah.
the last thing that I was thinking of with this particular topic was the energy. I think some people I'm thinking of dieting now. I think there is a problem though with the kind of anticipation we use sometimes in terms of um, reaching a goal. Now,
Hmm.
when you were talking about, talk about the golfer,
Okay.
they imagine the whole process. They
Hmm.
imagine the stance, the grip, the
Hmm.
swing, the progress of the ball going into the hole, right?
Right. Hmm.
Okay. Dieting. I think there are lots of people that will like try to anticipate and feel that anticipation of how good it will feel when they reach a goal weight.
Hmm.
Okay. They
Hmm.
have this anticipation of being able to wear a swimming suit, wearing a pair of pants, going to an event, and
Hmm.
people acknowledging how physically attractive they are at their new
Boy, do
weight.
you look good, whether it be a
Mhm.
class reunion or a wedding or a something. It's
Exactly.
always, and I think it helps people to have a goal about that too, because they anticipate how they're going to look and it motivates them to stay on the diet. If
Now,
they're
here's
just,
the one problem. I think there's one problem with that, though, Judy.
I think you were leading to that and I interrupted. Go
No
ahead.
worries. No worries. I think the problem is it's like a golfer just constantly focusing on the ball going in the hole. Okay. I don't
Hmm.
think many people who use anticipation or some kind of visualization of losing weight, they're only looking at the end result. They're not looking at the whole process. In other words, they're not visualizing themselves walking in from work at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, being tired and hungry
Hmm.
and going to the refrigerator, making the good choices,
Hmm.
sitting in front of the TV and getting that's your sweet tooth and making the choice to not eat the box of cookies.
Right.
They're looking at the end result, but they're not playing the preceding scenarios in their head in a positive light. They're not going through the whole setup of their
Yeah,
process.
I know what you're saying. I do think it's possible if you are
Mhm.
really serious about, you know, reshaping your body, to discipline yourself, to not eat the sweet stuff, to eliminate the sugar, to figure out a good snack. It just depends. And if you fall off the wagon one night, don't beat yourself up. Go
No,
on the next
no.
night and do the healthy thing. I think it can work for dieting, but I think it takes a really strong discipline.
Well, and I think that's what we're talking about here. We're talking
Yes.
about how setting your mind up, knowing what your triggers are, where you normally, have your roadblocks, your
Hmm.
speed bumps, your potholes, where
Hmm.
those are in your diet adventure, in your diet journey, and playing those over and over in your mind in a positive way is the part of the process that I have never heard anybody talk about before.
Oh, that's a big deal. It really is. I know for me, dieting, the only diet that ever worked for me
Mhm.
was eating everything I liked and wanted, but just half as much.
Mm.
And the way I looked at it, it was half as many calories. So,
Yeah.
it's less garbage in, you know, it had, I mean, it had an effect. It gets harder as you get older, but it still works.
Mhm.
So I think it also, having a plan for what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, I think it improves your mental health. I think it eliminates that overwhelm and that feeling of, oh, it'll never happen. And it helps you really develop that mindset that says, I can do this. I got this. It's going to be fine.
And
And
that's the third part of this process that I wanted to talk about today is really that mental health component of
mhm,
anticipation
I
and
agree.
visualizing things that we like.
I
And keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm in heaven right now. I've got three lovely dogs in my office and they're just running around and I think that's the best ever. It's so fun. See, I like dogs as much as you like gardening.
Well, okay, so and what I have written here for myself as a note, anticipating small delightful experiences
Mhm.
can be as powerful as anticipating one big event.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
I think both of those are really important to your central idea of having positive mental health. And
Mhm.
it's not hard. It's a new routine,
Mhm.
definitely, but it's something that is so doable that I think we discount it.
Well, and if you make it hard, if you make it negative, if you make it, oh man, I got to watch what I eat, kind of thing, it can be really it can really create a mood, an ugly mood, that you don't like being in. So I think that mood has as much to do with the success of the project as anything else. And I,
Hmm.
I know we kind of keep getting into that, but I can't tell you how important I think it is.
Hmm.
I'm working on that real hard today.
Yeah. So, and I've also used this anticipation when I've gone on trips. I mean, as a
Hmm.
child, that anticipation of going on our summer camping trip was it just felt so amazing. And
Hmm.
now as an adult, when I've gone on big trips, I've kind of played around with the feeling of, is this anxiety that I'm feeling, or is this
No,
excitement that
it's
I'm feeling?
excitement. I,
They're
I was
very closely related.
I was reading something the other day about actors and actresses when they get stage fright. And this was written by a psychologist, and he basically says stage fright isn't really stage fright at all. It's that your body is so excited about what you're going to be doing that it starts putting out the endorphins and all those kinds of things. So
And it
don't
kind of
call it
overwhelms your
stage.
system, kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it gets you revved up and ready to go. And without it, you'd probably be kind of flat.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I get that.
yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, personally, I mean, for years now, I guess I recognize that I have really enjoyed anticipating. I love anticipating. I've always considered myself a dreamer, and I love thinking about the what ifs and the process of creating new and different things.
I
And
think
that,
sometimes it's better than the outcome, don't you think?
yes, yes, it really is. Sometimes the anticipation is better. Yeah, right, exactly. And
And that's okay too,
that's okay.
because what it does is it just lengthens the time of positive feelings and
Mhm.
makes them even more enjoyable.
I agree. Whether it's the big things, those big, you know, huge events that we've looked at forward to since we were children, or the little
Mhm.
things that are just, like I said before, the small delightful experiences. Those
Ooh,
can't be discounted either.
happy birthday, Merry Christmas, all that stuff, right? Ooh, I love it. I love it.
Cool. So embrace anticipation
Mhm.
and you'll enjoy your life more, right?
Use it to motivate you to do the things you love.
Exactly. So
Focus on the things you enjoy and don't feel like you have to do everything everybody else is doing. Focus on what you enjoy, and the anticipation of those things will make you a happier camper. What do you think?
exactly what you said.
What I
Cool.
said. Yay. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's wrap things up here, Judy. I know you've got puppies that are anxiously waiting for your attention, and we'll
Oh,
talk
I'm
to
I'm
you
petting with one hand here.
next time around. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
It was
Love you.
fun. Love you
Okay.
too.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
honey.